All right, let's go. Wiggy, wiggy, wiggy. Wiggy, wiggy, wiggy. Wiggy, wiggy. Everybody get up. Oh, let's get comfy. So, what I tell you, huh? What I say? Give me a 4 point weekend. What they do? 4 point weekend. It's a beautiful thing. Huh? Those are games we should win. There's definitely games we should win. But that don't guarantee that you're gonna win them just because you should win them. You know? So good to see, and good to see Spencer Knight not let that one period get to him and cause any problems. He locked it down the rest of the way. Not that those goals were necessarily all, terribly his fault. A couple of rebounds he gave up. The last one, yeah, was from the point, but it got deflected right before it got to Spencer. So we're good. We're good. If that's the worst game he's going to have in a while, I think we'll be in good shape, right? What is Steven saying? Sorry, Jaws can't chat. Trump is tariffed me by the word. Oh, the world is a crazy place. That's all I can say. You know, I don't pretend to know what's going on. I just don't. I liked it better back in the day when, before everybody paid so much attention to politics, life was a lot easier, right? So that's okay. My neighbors are out there with the chainsaw, so I don't know if the mic picks that up or not. So for the members podcast, they'll be out about a half hour after this, and I got to keep this to an hour today because I've got a meeting with a couple people, one with the sponsor, and we got some good things going on. Steven says, I don't really follow politics at all, but everyone in Ontario was riled up. I know. I've heard bits and pieces of it. Yes, Shafashi says we need another defenseman. Yeah, two. The best case scenario for us is a new bottom pair, right? I think Makar and Fox should do it, right? That should probably do it. And then Belinskis off the bench. And then I don't want to get rid of Schmidt because if his legs are fresh, he's not a terrible option. But you could definitely tell the difference when he's gone back to back. The second game of the back to back wasn't terrible, but not pretty either. I know this. So 2 days ago, someone in the Panthers subreddit posted that we should sacrifice a goat to get Verhaeghe to score. He scored 4 goals since then. Now everyone's talking about sacrificing goats. Yeah, I don't know that works. Swaggy's back, though. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. We'll take it. It didn't take long, for him to be up on that top line and start looking like himself again. So now we just need Samoskevich to not be sick. Hopefully it's not one of those 2-week things like Barkov, and he can come back. And not that the second line was bad or anything. Second line still looked good, but it definitely has a different element to it when Samoskevich is on the ice. This Boquist is a nice player, but Yo-Yo and Honest. Frosty says Ekblad looked slow last night. He got lucky with the breakaway. He doesn't have the best speed from a standing still point, right? Like turning and swiveling his hips and skating backwards is just not his thing. Those injuries really took the toll on him over the course of the years. His first couple strides, he needs about a rink and a half to get going up to speed. But Spencer made the saves, right? That's what matters. Yeah, big 4 points over the weekend. And we should have those. Those are games we should have. And now we've got a wee bit of a cushion over the Leafs in first place. I think let the Leafs take care of Ottawa. Right? And now the Wings. Now the Wings are in a playoff spot. It's crazy. I go over it in depth in today's podcast, the members podcast. I go over most of the teams that are competing for that 8 spot and their schedules and everything like that. Columbus, Ottawa, and Detroit, but especially Ottawa, will basically have the fates of multiple teams in their hands because of the schedule that they have towards the end of the season. Carter Verscory. Donna says, I think the injuries have derailed Ekblad's speed, especially that broken foot in 23. However, he's got a lot of points this year, so I hope he can keep that up. Well, he's done. I thought it could be worse, to be honest with you, Adonis. He's done pretty well in terms of trying as best he can to make up for some of the offense that left with Montour, especially, while also not getting caught all that often. The breakaway wasn't necessarily his fault last night. He was just the last guy back, right? But I kind of thought it would be worse than it is in terms of him like playing on the point of the power play and trying to play offensively a little bit. I thought it would be a little bit worse. So I think that all things considered, he's done okay. And he stayed relatively healthy. He just had the one little thing. Steven says, we didn't get as much divisional help as I hoped for. We got to take the points since they come especially against first-time goalies, not like last time. That poor kid. I mean, they should have played him against Tampa. Tampa's not been all that great. And then they throw that poor kid out there. Your first NHL game is against the defending Stanley Cup champs in their barn on when your team played the night before. That's rough, man. He did make some good saves. He did flash that glove a couple of times. He didn't look all that overwhelmed, but damn, that must suck. His career goals against sucks. I says, glad to see Pietrangelo get lit up by the Rangers after wanting a break from the Four Nations tournament. Did they lose? Yeah, I think the Rangers lost last night, right? Was it last night or the night? No, they had lost to Boston the day before. That's right. The Wings won again. Flames beat the Kraken. Jackets lost. Yeah, they beat the Knights. Shit. Damn. Yeah, they won. Yeah, they had lost to Boston the night before. And then when I saw they were playing Vegas, I said, oh, they could lose that game too. But how do you like that for not knowing which direction your team is going? Lose to Boston and then beat Vegas, right? Nirmax says Tampa was a must-win for them. Right? Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're right. I'm so used to Tampa just being like solidly in the top 3 without question that it didn't dawn on me that Tampa's in that group. But you're right. Swash says USA Canada game is going to be hostile. I know. I've heard that. I hope the players don't, make a big deal out of it. Hey, Dana, you bought the Kachuk USA jersey? Nice. How much did that set you back? $6,000? Kenneth says, I know. Kenneth, I talked about that on the podcast today. Wings wild card 1, Boston, Tampa out. Who would have thunk it, right? Who would have thought? I go over, Kenneth, in the podcast, I go over the schedule from all the teams that are fighting for that last spot. And honestly, Ottawa controls the destiny of a lot of teams. Donna says Aiden Hill's playing like raw when we play him, then plays like a backup goalie every other right. Yeah. Yeah, but he won the damn cup. You know what I mean? We got some kind of bad juju with that dude. $7 million though now is not with the cap going up and everything like that. Boy, Spencer Knight's got to be happy about that because he already got overpaid at 4.5. Dude, that's going to be a whole crazy thing to see how that works out. If you're going to give Knight another bridge deal if Bob retires, or if you just give him the big deal right off the bat. Then it says no one would have predicted Ottawa, Detroit instead of Tampa, Boston. No. In fact, Kenneth, in my season preview, I think I picked in no particular order Florida, Toronto, Tampa, Boston, but I picked Ottawa to be 8. I think I picked both wildcard teams to be out of the Atlantic. So I did pick Ottawa, but I would have not picked them over Tampa and Boston. I just assumed at least Tampa. But Tampa's got some games in hand. I think they don't have an easy schedule, though. Steven's got the latest point predictions. Florida 102, Toronto 101, Ottawa 95, Tampa 93, Detroit 91, Boston 88, Montreal. Yeah, Montreal kind of fell off a little bit. I think it's 5 in a row or 3 in a row that they've lost. Their schedule gets tough. Eyes. It's hot. I got cold today, or I got hot today, I should say. I did the podcast in the sweater that I had over this, and I'd already been to the gym. And so I just got hot. So I just took off the shirt. What the hell? Donna says Vegas might trade for goaltending. Hill has a 900 and a 269. Samsonov is not a great goalie whatsoever. It's not an answer. Won't be surprised if they get someone like John Gibson. I mean, on one hand, I don't disagree with you, but on the other hand, Aiden Hill's won more cups than Roberto Luongo. Go figure. There was an only fan page. That's funny. No OnlyFans yet. We haven't reached that. We haven't reached that level yet. But I hear you, Donnie. So I think we've talked about that before about possibly them getting Gibson. It just isn't it. It's a weird thing to have a dude that's won a cup on the roster and think you got to improve, right? But I saw a highlight reel talking about Aiden Hill. I saw something I was watching on YouTube, and I think it was playoff overtime goals. Yeah. And Stanley Cup overtime goals. And they played the overtime goal that Verhaeghe got against Vegas in Game 3. And I don't remember seeing this part, but Verhaeghe goes up to Tkachuk to hug him. Remember, this is when Chucky got hurt. And he goes up to Tkachuk to hug him, and Chucky was like, "No, don't hug me." I saw that, and I'm like, "Oh, damn it, man. Damn it. Brought back flashbacks." Eyes. Oh, that's funny. Do I think there's a chance both Tampa and Boston miss? I think Ottawa, let's put it this way. One of them is going to miss. Well, no, I can't guarantee that. That's right. I think Ottawa's going to take third. I have a hard time thinking Tampa's going to miss. I don't think Tampa's going to miss. Boston might. But I just have a real tough time. It doesn't compute in my head that Tampa would miss the playoffs. That just doesn't seem. The Boston could, I think, depending on the head-to-heads. But with Tampa, I think Florida, Toronto, Ottawa, Tampa, and then I think the Jackets will hold on to the 8th seed. You know, JC. Oh my God. Vincent says this rumor was floating around for months and people wondering how Jaws so laid back and rich. OnlyFans explains it, but why he hides it from Oh, it's actually laid back and poor. I'm just so comfortable being poor that it doesn't faze me anymore. Yeah, Boston is a mess right now. Get some sun. What do you want to do? You want to go outside? It's 25 degrees. What does that temperature say? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. That can't be right. Where the hell do they got my location? Hold on. Time out. I know it ain't 65 degrees outside. So why is my laptop telling me 65? What location does it have? Where does my laptop think I am? Where the hell is Iron City? Why does my laptop think I'm in Iron City? This is important. I'm clicking this. Where the hell is Iron City? Where the hell does my laptop think I'm in? Tennessee. Why does my laptop think I'm in Tennessee and it's 65 degrees outside? I don't have a VPN. I'm serious. My laptop is telling me it's 65 degrees here in Iron City, Tennessee. If it was 65 degrees, we would be doing this show outside, and I would have this sleeveless shirt on, getting some sun. You can't get sun in the winter out here, JC. What am I supposed to do? Don says, I'm happy. Boston's been in the playoffs every single year. Time that reality faced them that they had a fluke year last year was a bit surprising, right? I'm definitely not skinny. I mean, I'm 5'6", $180. I'm 5'6", 180 pounds. I'm definitely not skinny. I have a lot of hidden muscle mass in my thighs and legs because of all the sports I played and all the walking through the water with the dogs and all that. JC says, because I clicked the email about Ugandan prince sending me gold bar. Hey, at this point, I'll click. All right, at this point, I'm clicking. Oh, it's late. Drink my computer. Now, anyway, back to hockey. I don't know why the hell I'm geeking out about that. I hope nobody hacked my computer. It's like 35 outside, maybe. It might be 36. That's wild. Oh well. It must have something to do with my crappy internet service. My lovely $150 a month crappy internet service. Anyway, so Tampa does have games in hand. When I looked at the schedules, because I did for the podcast, I did look at the schedule for all of the teams that are fighting for the 8th seed. Kenneth says, why is he in Tennessee? Fleury's still doing good, though, right? They're playing him a little bit much. But is he like 38 at this point? He feels like he's older than Bob. It feels like he's older than Bobrovsky. How old is he? Let's see. How old is Marc-Andre Fleury? He's 40. Well, then there you go. Yeah, he's freaking 40. And he's playing pretty well, right? What's his numbers? No, I don't want Wikipedia. Where's the stats? There we go. Google says he's 40, Ice. Let's see. Born November 28th, 1984. He's 40 now. What's his numbers right now? He's played in 18 games. He's got a 2.60 and a 9.08. That's not bad. That's not bad. Decent backup. Years up. Great Wise is 180 pound. That's a skinny shark. You're a good 260. Yeah. I've been over 200 pounds. It's no fun on my knees and hips. Yeah, that's right, Julian. Swaggy got a hattie. That's right. What are you doing, Kyle? I'm just messing with him. Ghost Layer says, finally got a good week under the belt for the Cats. Hockey guy moved us up to 8th. Does he have the Leafs at 1, though, now? Does he still have the Leafs at in the top 4 there? Don says, Bill Zito makes Jerry Jones look like a first day on the job type of guy. I think Jones kind of, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about him because I think age, I think mentally, I don't think he's completely there. I think somebody should do something and get him to sell that team. I don't think all the crackers are in the box. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say anything bad about him. He was a pain in the ass owner back in the day, but he did win. He did win. But now I think he's lost his Cocoa Puffs a little bit. Go say, no, he's got him behind the Cats. Yeah. That was crazy putting the Leafs at 4. What's wrong with you, Shannon? Come on, man. How are you going to build a YouTube channel like that? Get some puppets. I hope nobody cut that. It's a joke. It's a joke. Julian says, besides Sasha, Swaggy is my favorite player and his talent is so clutch. Just hates when he goes through the slumps. Yeah. He's okay. He's back, though, now. Put him with Barkov. It works. Absolutely works. Great White. Yeah, man. When I was, let's put it this way, Great White. If I was 200 pounds, I could not jump out of the chair so rapidly and break the whole table and entertain everybody so frequently. Like, I would not be able to jump out of the chair that way at 200 pounds. $180 during the winter, $175 during the summer. Although I don't know what's going to happen this year. I guess, I'm so used to walking through the water with the dogs all year long. I've kind of taken like 10-mile hikes at night instead to get my leg exercise in. Usually it would just, take Fluffy to the river, take the dogs to the river, walk through the water for 90 minutes. And, I didn't have to do any cardio, anything. But now this will be the first, kind of be the first spring and summer, obviously, but we'll see if I start. That's part of the doggy daycare idea. Once I get that rolling, is I want to take them to the beach and the river, right? It was good as 800 career game last night. Very cool. By the way, nice ceremony that they gave to Kulikov, huh? They did not do, that was a good long thing. They gave him the silver stick. Hey, Kyle asked, the silver stick that they give you for 1,000 games, is that solid silver? Is that solid, or is it just silver plate? Kind of looked like it was solid. Hey, thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Great White. Much appreciated, bud. Gold Slayer says Winnipeg and Edmonton, Vegas, Colorado, Dallas, and Washington are above the Cats. I think Carolina also, but not sure on the last one. Cats played like they need to against a team with a big win streak. Yeah. So Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vegas, Colorado, Dallas, Washington. I'll bite that. They're all in the Western Conference, though, eh? All in the Western Conference. There's some teams over there that are good, right? Let's be honest. But the more the more I look at the competition in the East, I kind of still feel like the Panthers are the team to beat. I know that we could use some defensemen, but I still feel like at least in the Eastern Conference, doesn't guarantee that we're not gonna, it doesn't guarantee we're gonna win, but I really still feel like we're the team to beat in the Eastern Conference until somebody takes it away. Julian says, will Eggplant and Sasha get the silver stick? Wonder how many games they got. Sasha's got to be getting close to 800, right? Eggplant, let's look at that. Let me see. Vincent says, who's going to try to take the stick from Cooley? Did somebody say something that I didn't see, Vincent? Let's see. Barkov. How many games does Barkov has? This is season 9 or 10 for Barkov. Barkov's at 781. So finished this season 800, 880. So like 3 seasons more. And then Aaron Ekblad can't be that far, but he's missed so many games with injuries. Let's see. Ekblad has 722. Ekblad has less. So Ekblad's going to have to play like almost 5 more. Well, 4. Yeah. He's going to have to, it'd be like 4 more healthy seasons for them to get to 1,000. So I think Sasha will get it with us. Don't know about Aaron. We're going to have our hands full if we make it to the Cup again. Give us Edmonton again to make McDavid cry in the locker room, or give us Colorado or Vegas 3 through 96 or 23. Yeah. Look, there's some good teams in the West. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But we do know we know how to win. Julian says, no, at Eggplant's rate, it's like 6. Well, he's 722. If he plays 60 games a year, 5, maybe. If he plays 60 games a year, he'll get it in year 5. That's about right. Vincent says, I was licking my chops with flames in my eyes, thinking of that solid silver stick. Maybe. I'll trade him my Peter Worrell signed stick. That's a fair deal. And I'll get him a puppet. All right? That's a fair deal. My Peter Worrell signed stick and his own puppet for the silver stick. That seems legitimate. No, I did not see that, Goat Slayer. And I'm licking my lips because I got chapped lips because it's so dry outside. It's that time of year. It gets very, very dry here. My computer still says I'm in Tennessee. How do I fix that? That is irritating as hell. Damn it. If it's going to place me somewhere, like place me in Key West or something, so I could just put the kayak in and go catch some tarpon or something. What do they get this time of year? They still get bonefish down there? Or do they fish all the bonefish out of the water? Used to go on the flats and just wade fish for bonefish. You'd be in 8 inches of water. You catch a 10-pound fish. You'd be like, how the hell did there room in this water for this fish? Can't do that now, though. Can't do that here anyway, that's for sure. Right? So anyway, does anybody know if it's a solid silver stick? That was the question. Does anybody know if the thing is solid silver? That was Kyle's question. And Kyle's the one that he's the coin collector. He's the metal. Bone fishing is still good. That's good. They didn't screw that up. Did I catch snook too? My dad used to catch a lot of snook. When the snook were running at the pier, the bluefish and mackerel were also running, and I kind of preferred to catch them. The snook that were around the pier where I would go fishing, they were so picky. They were so damn picky. You might stand there in the surf all day long with your live mullet and have like 2 hits, and as soon as the tide changed, they were gone. So I kind of like to fish with the spoons and the lures and whatnot, catch mackerel and bluefish. It was more fun. But that's what I liked about the bone fishing. Goat Slayers, that same thing about the snook fishing because of the same reason, right? Yeah, I want action. Hey Roger, how you doing, bud? Thanks for joining us. Kenneth says, the more I think about it, you're cool with Toronto, Ottawa first round. Okay, that works. That works. We're fine because y'all can handle Brady Tkachuk with his first time back in the playoffs. Since has he been in the playoffs? I guess they have been, right? But you all can handle Brady Tkachuk. That's fine. Have fun with that. Hi, Alechka. Julian says, feel everything is fished out in South Florida. Got to go 26 miles. It's kind of stupid. That's a shame. That's a shame. It's weird because when I grew up, the fishing was amazing compared to what it is now. But when my dad grew up, the fishing was amazing compared to when I grew up. It's just crazy how downhill it's gone. I love fishing mahi-mahi and largemouth bass. Oh, you live on Lake Okeechobee. Nice. Exactly, Olechka. What a team we have. Coasting for a month plus and still number 1 in the division. Right? Great White, if I come down next January, you can show me the best places for seal and tuna. Seal? 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 Or you play now tuna? We used to catch a lot of bonita. We used to catch a lot of bonita off the beach in summer. Hey, True. Yeah, I saw that. They're gonna go to the White House today. Nobody's gonna be triggered. Nobody at all will be triggered by that. Nobody at all will be triggered by that. Nobody, I'm sure. Now, is this when they would normally go? They're going to barter a deal between Canada and the U.S. That's not a bad idea, Figure Report. That's not a bad idea. I wonder if they'll say something. Wouldn't that be something, right? Yeah. That is kind of awkward, right? Sharks face. Oh, I see what you're saying, Great White. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know about seals in South Florida. Yeah, no, bonita is the best bait. It makes good tuna fish, Julian. Bonita makes really good tuna fish. It does. A little bit of pepper, garlic, olive oil, lemon is good. Soak it, get some smoke flavoring, soak it overnight, freeze it in the smoke flavoring, and then let it defrost is to die for. Roger says most of the fishing stocks in the Maritimes are depleted, overfished, and not properly monitored. Yeah. It's world is different, man. You know, they put limits on the recreational fishermen, and then they let the guys go out there with the drag nets and catch miles and miles of fish. Ghost Slayer says, now I want smoked fish tip. I blame you. It's good stuff, man. Bonita's good stuff. But before you do anything to it, if you're going to prepare the bonita to be tuna fish, before you do anything to it, you get it. This is how you do it. You get a dish rack. Okay, you get a double layer dish rack, and you put paper towels on the second layer of the dish rack, and you soak the bonita in ice cold water, and then you put that on the top dish rack, and it'll bleed out. You don't want to bleed out too much because you want to have the taste, but you just bleed it out for maybe until it goes from red to pink. Once the water coming out turns pink, then that's it. Put everything on it and light freeze it, and then chop that up. Oh man, put that on some crackers with cheddar cheese. You'll want to live on it. What do I catch in Maryland? We get a lot. Hold on a second. This chair went off to the side. I get a lot of catfish, but the catfish tastes really, really good here. They don't taste muddy because all they eat in the river are perch and bass. It's real clean water. Are bonita big? I mean, the good ones, we catch them, they're fat. They're like a football. They're like a football. So you could catch a 2-foot bonita and it's not all that round, but it's like a freaking, it's like they ate a watermelon, right? Julian says, as much as I have to admit, stupid COVID was a few months. The drop-ins were closed and it helped. Yeah. I got a story about that, Julian. Let's see. Figure Report says, I trust our Captain Barkey to get in the White House and accomplish any goal, except if it's an empty net goal. Right? Chucky sneaking in the Oval Office, signing an order to make Miami the capital of Cuba. Chucky unsupervised would definitely go sign an EO of debauchery. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, people are going to hate us more. Hey, thank you, John. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, John. Oh, it's the Step Brothers reference. They're like football. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Thank you, John. Was it hot? I wasn't at Lackland. Oh, no, I was. That's right. That's where no. But I went in because basic training. So I was thinking that I wasn't stationed there. It was just basic training. I went to basic training. I got there mid-January. It was 6 weeks, 8 weeks. What was it? So it wasn't hot. It wasn't all that cold either, but it wasn't hot because Texas. So I got lucky. Do I like snapper true? Nah. I've had it. It's not my favorite. I'm not a fan of like the reef fish, snapper, grouper, trigger fish. I'll eat it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. My dad loves it. I like the bloodier fish. I like the oilier, bloodier fish. Tuna, bonita, mackerel, bluefish. Just got to eat bluefish right away. Roger says also China is in our coastal waters with drag nets hauling everything and anything. The bycatch is greater than the license. Yep. We had the same thing when I was growing up off the coast here in Florida before they got a hold of it. It was crazy. Goats there, yeah, more flavor, yeah. Gold Slayer says all the Russian players are going to be super stoked to see Trump. This was my question about, is this the normal time that the hockey players would go see the president, or did they wait? Did they wait to switch administrations on purpose? Do they normally do it this time of the year? I don't know. I don't know because we never won the cup before. You Tampa fans who won the cup like every year for like a month. When did you guys go? Yeah, that's the one fish I definitely don't like, Julian, is grouper. I've had it a couple of times. Something about it. Barracuda now. Barracuda is a white meat fish that I like. Just don't eat the big ones. You get the cigarette poisoning. But the small ones, 5 pounds and under, those things are delicious. They really are. Just watch your fingers when you're taking the hooks out of their mouth. Just have hooks. Just have extra hooks. extra hooks. And when you get the barracuda, instead of trying to get in there and take the hook out, just snip it and retie on another hook and go get your hook back later after they're good and frozen. Gold says, I think that they won't. I can't read that. All right, I think they weren't invited. Gotcha. I understand. Oh, let's go back to talking about fishing. Striped bass. Striped bass is okay. It's not terrible. I don't eat the bass that I catch here. I'm not a big bass person anyway, but the catfish here, it tastes delicious. It's flaky white meat. It's not muddy at all. It's a little pink. But for catfish, it's outstanding. True. So, Julian, the bigger barracudas that live on the reefs, they get the poisoning because they eat the paint off of the sunken boats and shit that gets down there. But when I was a kid, I used to fish off of Holliver Pier, and I catch barracuda during the summer, 3 pounds, 2-3 pounds, fillet them up. They're delicious. They really are. Got to skin them, but they're delicious. Hey, they didn't want to get blamed for the cook. I can't say that either. Thank you, John. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, John. Yeah, they flew in last night. They flew in earlier than they normally would. So they're going to the White House today. So that should be real interesting, because correct me if I'm wrong, but Broward County still didn't vote Trump, right? I believe they were still blue, if I remember that correctly. I know Dade went Trump, but it's just I have a lot of Panther fans that are friends that I see on Facebook, and they're not generally speaking Trump fans. So I think it's interesting. Roger says, I fish oysters and clams, work in the woods. Lucky for me, no one doing this type of work is just temporary, but the money's decent. Nice. Yeah. Hey, if you got something you could do that nobody else is doing. Ghost says gar meat was good, but not worth the effort of attaining. Had to use legit metal snips to cut through the hide. Yeah, gars are tough. Yeah, so Broward was blue. Right. Yeah, well, let's go. All I know is the people that I know that are on Twitter and Facebook, and they're not Trump fans. We'll just leave it at that. Some of the things I see on Facebook, I just have to just face plant. Ghost there says all the Fort Lauderdale's left leaning. It's everywhere else that keeps it close. Gotcha. I get what you're saying. So Great White, thank you. He says Boltzmann to the White House April 26, 2022. Also, they even went later. Okay. Gotcha. True. Yeah, as long as they're not too big. As long the small ones are usually pretty good. Julian says, to me, mackerel tastes like chicken. Pretty good stuff. I also enjoy flounder. I haven't had wahoo. I caught a huge flounder when I was 5 years old. I got a picture of it somewhere. My grandfather took me to, I guess it's called the Newport Pier now. It was called the Sunny Isles Pier years ago. Dead of winter. It must have been cold. And I caught a slab of a flounder in Miami. I couldn't believe it, with a live shrimp. Figure Report says, I wonder if COVID impacted the Bolts' trip to the White House. Good question. Are gar part of the shark family? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they're fresh water. I don't know. I've never had gar, but my uncle used to go to the Everglades all the time, and he said he kept one time. I guess because he got tore up. I think that the gar bit him when he was trying to get the hook out, and he got so pissed that he decided to keep it and try to eat it. And then he said to clean the fish was torture. True, man. You just got to know how to take the bones out. Haitians eat those puffer fish. No, I don't eat that. No, I never had a problem with the bones in the barracuda. You gotta skin it right. If you skin it right, you can get the bone, just pull it right out. But I've probably cleaned 10,000 fish in my life, so there's that. You know what I mean? But no, if you get the bones, if you cut it right, if you skin it right, you can get to the tip of the vert and just you got to pull it slow because they do have some little bit extra. But if you pull it slow and you got to the secret to deboning a fish is when you catch it immediately on ice, and then that hardens the meat. You know, it firms up the meat just enough that you can get the bones out pretty good. Julian says, I catch grunts too, but I don't eat that. No, I don't think we ever kept a grunt. I don't think so. Too much of a pain in the ass. Gar are not shark. Right? Yeah, you eat the tuna raw right out of the water. Brian says, y'all making me hungry. Right? I don't know. Maybe they had different barracuda, or maybe it was the bigger ones, true. I don't know. Because I know my dad, if there's one bone in a fish, he'll lose his mind. He's meticulous with that. And I don't know, he just never had a problem. Only one NHL game tonight. No sin avoids the suspension where he hit on Tage Thompson. What about Hartman? Did Hartman get suspended? Did he get suspended for that crap he pulled the other night? Oh, very cool, Nick. That's cool. Roger. No, I know. The bull sharks are everywhere. The bull sharks are everywhere. They get them occasionally in the rivers, even out here. Now, not so much my river because it just narrows out too much, too shallow. But some of the other rivers that kind of stay at like 8-10 feet, they've occasionally had bull sharks in them. What type of fishing do I enjoy more? Alone. Put on my waders, get in the water, walk the shoreline, and just cast. That's my favorite. Because if you can walk in the shoreline, you can access anywhere, right? Anywhere that you're not afraid to go has a shore. And if you just walk along the shoreline, you run up on somebody's pier, you just walk under the pier, and there you go. Oh, yeah, sharks have been found in Minnesota up to the Mississippi, sure. Well, the rivers here are off of the Chesapeake Bay. Hey, John. Yeah, they're going to be at the White House today at 3 o'clock. True says, I saw a baby marlin who found its way into the canal systems. That's crazy. Yeah, my dad used to like to catch the snook. So he hasn't had the hearing yet. Thank you, Kenneth. Don't eat sharks. Yeah. Yeah, eat more barracuda, right? Great white, eat more barracuda. I've never had shark. I never had shark. I've caught shark. I caught a few sharks off the beach. I lost a really big shark one time off the beach, but it wasn't on purpose. It was really, really rough. And I was fishing for bluefish with a whole ass 1 ounce spoon and 40-pound test leader, and we were just whipping the spoons out, and we could barely get it out because it was like 25-mile-an-hour northeast winds. And I had a bluefish on, and then I saw a fin, and then I didn't have a bluefish on, but I must have had the shark. Either the shark still just had the bluefish in his mouth and pulled me, or I had the shark hooked at some point. But he ran me up and down the beach for like 20 minutes. He was good size. He was probably 6 foot. Wasn't much bigger than that. But he broke me off at some point. But I still don't know if I had him hooked, or if he just carried the bluefishing around in his mouth all that time and finally his teeth got to the leader. Oh, speckled trout. Now that's fun. True, yeah, the bull sharks, they go. Even when I was in the river, I'd always make sure that, we're in a foot, half, 2 feet of water, right? You would assume you'd see the fin if there was a problem, but not in my river, but 2 rivers north of here, the Sassafras. There was, like in the 50s, there was a bull shark that got in there and did some damage. John says, I hear smoked bluefish or mackerel is good. Yeah, that's what we used to do with the bluefish. When the bluefish would run off the beach in October, we would catch hundreds of them, and then we would take them to the smokehouse, and they would just smoke them whole. They cut the head off and they open it up, but they wouldn't clean the whole thing. They would just smoke them whole, and we would get it, and we would just pick the meat off the bones. Oh, my God, it was so good. That and smoked kingfish, right? Gold Slayer says, I know it's not a fish, but I'll take some gator tail. It's just not worth the effort just ordering at a restaurant, right? Hey, Matthew, how you doing, bud? Favorite Panther? Well, for now, it would be Forsling. Top water fishing. I like spoons, jigs. Although, in the Everglades, I like to use the top water Rapalas because it's fun to watch the bass come up and smack it. Are there any bass left in the Everglades, or is it all like tilapia and what's the one that they mixed up? Well, I know the Oscars have taken over, but that started happening when I was a kid. The Oscars taken over. But I can't imagine how the bass fishing is there now with the population but what's the other fish that they bred, that they put in the Everglades that took over some of the areas? True, that's my dad. My dad likes the live bait. He likes live bait on the bottom. But, he's 70. Yeah, the peacock bass. That's the one. Yeah. Yeah, Matthew. The team is super streaky. But they're playing better. I think Maurice has the lines right now, especially once Sam Miskevich comes back. I think it was good to see us just kind of turn it on and do what we needed to do and play the way we're capable of playing for a few games in a row. So yeah, it's peacock, right? Did I ever go fly fishing in Alaska? I didn't do fly fishing. What I did do was they roe. They sell these little, it's real roe, but it's kind of like wrapped in like a thin plastic that has a scent to it. And it's a really, really interesting rig because you just put these, it's like beads of roe, and you just like line them up like maybe 8 or 10 pieces of roe, and then you line the hook with the roe, and then you catch trout, grayling, salmon that way. It's a really, really weird rig, but the point is that you can just toss it and just let it float. and it'll get like maybe 6 inches under the water, but it won't sink all the way. Did the Panthers finally make a deal with Bennett? Not yet. Not yet, True. Not yet, bud. Have not, but I think they will. What? What do you mean the fourth line should have Sam Miskevich's? What? True, are you smoking something? Sam Miskevich is in the center. Sam Miskevich is the top 6 beast next to Bennett and Kachuk. Did somebody hack your account? Gotcha, Julian. Hold on. Yeah, umbrella rig. Yeah. And I got to get ready to go. Doesn't it feel like Jaws is in the canals? It's full of snake. Oh, snakeheads. That's the one. Yeah. We got snakeheads here too. For sure. Yeah. Not so much in the part where I would take the dogs, but when you would come back around the river narrows and you get back into the weeds. I didn't know what they were when I first moved here. I didn't know what a snakehead was. And I was back fishing in this one little narrow part. And, I got my little spoon, little lure, whatever the hell I was using. And this thing just comes out of nowhere and it looks like a freaking snake. And I'm like, what the freaking hell was this? I didn't know what it was. It was crazy. Drew says, Gadjo and Greer, sure. But we need Sam Miskevich is tearing it up there. He's top 6. He ain't moving back down. Sunspine, yeah. Trump's supposed to meet with the Panthers today. I hope we get some good TV clips, right? True, we need a Chari. We're pounding. We've been pounding the table for a Chari. We can get a Chari for free from Pittsburgh. That all we got to do is promise not to make fun of Dubas, and they'll give us a Chari for free. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. All right, everybody, I got to run. I got a 2:00 meeting with a sponsor, and I still got to finish my pack and ship. Yeah, true. The snakes are everywhere, man. But they're good eating, but they're a pain in the ass if you're trying to catch anything else. It's almost like when you're trying to catch bass and the guard gets to your lure. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're supposed to kill them. Yeah, exactly, Julian. Yep. There's some guys that have some pretty successful YouTube channels. All they do is catch snakeheads, topwater snakeheads. It's a hell of a hit. Good question, Kenny says, are the players who didn't win the cup on the Panthers, are they allowed to come? I would expect, sure. Yeah, it's a good question, but I would expect that they would. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for all the super chats. Members podcast will be up. Thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Great White. Appreciate that. Don't eat shark. Eat more gar. I like that. All right, everybody. Members pod will be up in about a half hour, and I will see you mañana.